apparently I got myself into some sort of I don't know what it is. Somebody made a post, and you guys know my position on Black Myth Wukong. I suspect, and this is my own suspicion, that there were some exchanges of favors that were put in place for the game to launch on PlayStation and not on Xbox. The conversation about the Series S, the Turk has taken a build that he mocked as a Series S, built it with similar specs to see if the game can run on there. He hamstrung the build. The build still went ahead and ran Black Myth Wukong. Digital Foundry did the same thing. They were able to get about the 20-something FPS, so with minimal modifications, they probably would have reached where the game would need to be playable. The developers also have not come out to say that there is no exclusivity deal like the developers at Larian did with Baldur's Gate 3, and they had time to work on the PS5 Pro Enhanced Edition. So, with all their talk about the Series S is a problem and blah blah, and with all the expertise out there where other studios are able to run your games on the Series S without any problems, I do not believe them. Now, I'm not saying that you should believe me or you should not believe them. I'm just holding my own opinion. That's all I'm doing. And the opinion that I'm holding is based on what we're seeing, where we have some measurements that we can use. And it's that simple. It's just that simple. However, you guys know that I've maintained the position for every Wukong, there's a Wuchang. What I mean by that is, after all is said and done, and after all that talk and the narrative spinning that's been done, we can still very, very vividly see that in this particular market, the Xbox is going to still have third-party developers who are interested in developing games for the console. Contrary to what all of these fanboys have been saying all these months, they've all been lying, because a lot of those games have basically been blocked from going to Xbox via PlayStation third-party money-hatted deals. In some cases, you see technical difficulties that are not necessarily Xbox's fault, but just the transference from generation to generation. For instance, that framework that stopped Marvel Capcom Collection, the Fighting Collection, from coming to Xbox at first, right? But now the game is on Xbox. Then you see a thing like Final Fantasy where the developers are saying they want to go to Xbox. And then you see Peril Abyss saying they don't want to block Xbox from their ecosystem. These are all verifiable incidences. You can just do a Google search of anything that I've said, and you can find it on your own. Now, where is this particular kerfuffle coming from, you may ask? Well, somebody posted something about Wuchang. Y'all know that it's about to get spicy, right? Because after all that nonsense talk and capping that they were doing, another game that will more than likely give you what Wukong gave you, at minimum, and at best, better than what Wukong gave you. I don't know, depend on you. I can't judge how you will perceive a game. You may hate the game more than Wukong. That's none of my business. This Twitter account, Xbox News for Koreans, posted and said, this Chinese developer working on a Souls-like action game that has no complaints about the Xbox Series S with Unreal Engine 5. And he posted Wuchang's Fallen Feathers lore video, where they did a little lore in their video. It's a 2D animation that basically sets up the origins of their story. This user, the bearded guy, comes out and says, comparing some dog doo-doo 2D mediocrity to a full-on UE5 game is pure stupidity. Now, do y'all see this particular comment? Did you guys see that? This person said that this game, Wuchang, or whatever it was, maybe what he was seeing was 2D mediocrity. That's literally what he called it. Doo-doo, dog poop is what he described this game as. Now, any of you who is aware of what's going on, you've seen some of the reel that showcased a little bit of gameplay. And if that is the depiction of the game, which it is, right? At least the depiction of the gameplay. And even then, we've seen some little, tidbits and aspects of the game. You can see it here on the Xbox page, right? You know that that is absolutely not true. And the game is not a 2D game. The game is not a 2D game. Now, you may be wondering, well, what's the issue here? Come on now, get to the point. What are you talking about? Well, apparently, I responded and I was like, what? What is this person talking about? They said, think about it. I said, the game is a 3D game. Nothing to think about. They said, read the original post. I read the original post. And then this is what he said. He said, they are capping for the Series S while showing some 2D side-scrolling crap. Let's see what the actual release gameplay is like before saying the Series S can run it properly. The original post did not say anything about the Series S running the game at any quality. Didn't say anything about that. All the original post said was, this Chinese developer working on a Souls-like action game that has no complaints about the Series S with Unreal Engine 5. They never said, oh, another Chinese developer whose game is running well on the... They never said that. They never said... I said, have you seen the game? OP is talking about the lore animation. The game's actually a third-person action game. Then maybe, according to this person, it would be a good idea to show the game running on the Series S, which was the point of the post. Come on, man. It was not the point of the post. Why are you fanboys so vitriolic? Like, it's as if the Series S did something to you in your past, and you really have a problem. I'm a PC gamer. I couldn't care if the Series S or Series X disappeared or the PlayStation disappeared. It's none of my business. But I can't stand the lies. I cannot stand the gaslighting and the obfuscation. Look at the way this guy tried to flip all this stuff, and everyone's looking at him and it's like, what? And someone said, what happened here was you spoke up before you knew what was being talked about. Make sure you understand what it is people are talking about before speaking on it. And then he replied, no, son. I spoke up on someone that was capping for the Series S before knowing how a game will run on it. No complaints, in quote, doesn't quite cut it. This one asked and said, how is he capping? Have you heard any complaints from them? He didn't say they haven't complained, so it's running good. He said, no complaints. So once again, you didn't understand. But I think it's much more than that, ladies and gentlemen. I think the fact that this game is scheduled to come out on the Xbox is where we see a problem. This is my hypothesis. I think that's what it is. I think these guys have realized, oh, crap, this game is going to hit the Xbox, and that talk about the Series S is going to be thrown out the window because now it's either the developers may have had some dealings with PlayStation or they truly don't know what they're doing, which I don't believe it. I can tell you that Chinese and Asian developers are very adept and competent at what they're doing. All this talk about the Series S, I didn't want to pull that cultural card and that, competency card, but you're going to tell me that a developer who was capable of developing a full-blown video game, do you know how hard that is? Cannot resolve a technical issue that other developers have been resolving with ease, even with Unreal Engine games? That is absolutely not true, in my opinion, based on what I know from developers that are now showcasing and coming out of Asia. Dude, have you watched the Unreal Engine stuff? Have you seen what PlayStation is doing with the Hero Project in Asia? Have you seen what the quality these developers are bringing to the table? I almost feel like I almost feel insulted by hearing that from a developer that's actually been worth that kind of investment. I'm sorry, but if there's a skeptic eye to be put upon Wukong, the developers need to be asked, you've made all this money. You can't find somebody with Unreal Engine optimization experience? You can't find programmers to maybe go ahead and look at some of your systems and possibly retweak them to give you more in terms of maybe giving you thread safe, it's Unreal Engine. We know the lingo and the grammar. I live on Unreal Engine. Well, at some point, I used to live on Unreal Engine YouTube, on all the conferences and all that stuff. You want to tell me you can't get this game into the Series S? That is a load of hard to believe. And I think this is coming out right now because, again, the conversation is now starting to shift, and you can see that there's some fretting going on. And ladies and gentlemen, this is where we see a problem. Before people even listen, they speak because their preconceived notions are already there. It's easy for these folks to then come in and just dial into their preconceived notions. Now, to be very honest, you know what? I could tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that, it could be that they truly cannot optimize this game for the Series S. But, honestly, I don't know. The tech really put up a strong case that it's possible to get this game going. The fact that they've made all this money means it's possible for them to hire somebody or a team to come in and do it. And the fact that they haven't said anything even lends, to me, a lot more skepticism across the board. But again, like I said, this Wuchang game, whether or not people love it or like it or whatever the heck it is, it's just interesting to see that it's coming to Xbox. With all the talk about the Series S and the nonsense, Kingdom Come Deliverance is running on a GTX 1060. After all that nonsense talk, the Series S is this, the Series S is a potato, it's like we forgot that game developers usually port games to hardware that's like that calculator level power. It is what it is. Thanks for watching the video. Appreciate you guys' time and audience. Talk to me in the comment section. Peace out.